Hello, my gorgeous darlings, my adorable cherubs. I have missed you, and I want to wish you a great big fat enormous warm happy new year. You, on the other hand, have probably been very glad to have a break from me, but I'm back, more unfiltered than ever, because I just think, why not? I gotta be me, otherwise I can't make these things. Anyway, my poor youngest son, and I'm sure a lot of you can identify with this. I mean, January's a little bit tricky, isn't it, for so many of us, because things are a little bit tight and we've got worries, and particularly with all this nightmare we've been coming through for the last couple of years, there's a lot of us with extraordinary worries. But my little son yesterday, well, he'd kill me if I called him little, because actually he's 5'11" and keeps commenting on how tiny I am and thoroughly enjoying it. However, the most powerful things come in small packages, as I've warned him, and there are always footstools and step ladders, and I can do pretty good high kicks and jumps too. Anyway, I'm diverting. So, New Year, my son has gone back into school and he's immediately facing mocks. Then he's got another lot in March. Then obviously they've got the real thing after Easter. So our kids are really up against it. The government are squashing all the teachers and all our kids who have already missed out on so much. And I don't just mean education, I mean that social interaction. You know, those growing up years, they have missed them. And now they're all being squashed like sausage meat through this factory to all come out identical and wrapped up in Tesco Finest or Richmond sausages or whatever's your favourite, you know. And we're not sausages, we're human beings. And I was thinking about all this actually a lot, and I was thinking we need more than ever to keep things fun. And I don't know about you, but sometimes it's really hard to talk about things, especially if you're not feeling on top of the world so much, you know, you're kind of feeling a bit squashed underneath it. And it's difficult, isn't it, to sit there and talk and feel like a tick box exercise and not really feel understood. And I think what a massive thing that's got me through my life, this probably won't surprise you, is humour. Really massively. It massively got me through. It has got me into trouble, but it's got me out of trouble. And, you know, there are certain things in life we can't control. And I actually do look at my hands sometimes and I think, right, this is outside of my control, exams, worries, COVID, all these things. But what is in my control is how I deal with those things. 80% of what we worry about doesn't happen anyway. 12% of it we can't do anything about. But the 8% we can do something about, I think I've got my maths right there. I do have a little bit of dyscalculia. Inside our hands is what we are in control of. And so for me, massively, right in the middle there is humour. And playfulness, exploring, you know, remaining childlike. And I find with even a lot of the adults that I work with, I hate to say work with because it sounds awful. It makes me feel like people are my patients, and they're not. They're my teachers as well. We're all learning from each other. And I just find when there's humour, when there's playfulness, when there's exploration, things naturally come out from people, you know, they come out naturally rather than them feeling like, you know, I've stabbed the sausage that the government, sorry, I must be careful, that the society is trying to turn them into. It's like poking a little cocktail stick through that sausage and toasting it under a grill when you're grilled. I don't like it. So I keep things playful. So I've got an absolutely gigantic pack of Uno. Now, normally Uno doesn't come in such a massive fat size. The reason mine is because over the years we keep losing cards and then I buy more packets. So to shuffle them is quite difficult. You do actually, it's more like shoveling. You need hands the size of spades, really. So I have to split mine and shuffle them, you know, separately. However, if you have a normal pack, that's even better because then you can shuffle them easily. And what I've done is, for kids who are a little bit younger, I've explored basic emotions. So red is anger, yellow is joy, because that's my favourite colour, by the way. I've said it millions of times, but if I was a colour, I would be yellow. I love that colour. It's joy, happiness, ultimate ecstasy. It's fabulous. Blue, sad. Green, what makes you relaxed. So that's on a very basic level. And you could play it like that, of course. However, I developed it because, as you all know, there are 9 numbers in Uno. So if you pick a 1, it's excited. What makes you excited? Where do you feel excitement in your body? You know, if you're not feeling particularly excited about something at the moment, what would change that? You know, it's getting the kids and the adults to explore all their emotions, because when I work with the children or the families or the schools or wherever I am or the charities, well, I play it as well, because that's only fair. No one should be left out. And also because it's a trust thing. So if you're doing it with the kids, you know, they're learning about you too. You're having a laugh. You know, you're meeting them where they're at and not giving them a boring old exercise to do. Nobody wants to feel like that, you know. There's enough of that going on. I've no idea why I'm whispering. Habit. Anyway, 2, anxious. I'm kind of exploring all sorts of things that I'm hearing at the moment. If you pick a 3, what makes you scared? Where do you feel fear? Do you know fear can have a taste? I've been so frightened at times in my life, it's actually had like a coppery taste in my mouth. Might be different for somebody else. But as you begin to explore these things, it's amazing how people open up and you really begin that dialogue, that conversation, not an interrogation, a conversation, and you're having fun. Play therapy is an extremely powerful tool, and I use it so much. Even when I'm doing yoga or massage or reflexology or acupressure or whatever it is I'm doing, I will very often weave it into a little bit of play therapy so that the kids, it's natural, it's spontaneous, things well up naturally from inside them, which is how it should be. I'm not there to prod and pry and extract, you know, makes me feel like a dentist. Anyway, where was I? Number 5. Oh, number 4, I missed one. Told you I've got a bit of dyscalculia going on. Stressed. What makes you stressed? You know, what does that feel like? Where do you feel that in your body? What do you do? And who do you go to when you are stressed? So it's exploring all sorts of things around those emotions. 5, frustrated. What makes you frustrated? 6, what makes you happy? 7, what makes you disappointed? This is an important one. 8, what makes you safe? You know, what makes you safe? A lot of people are not feeling safe at the moment, whether it's financially, health-wise, because they're worrying about COVID, exams, whether their job is safe. You know, there are all sorts of reasons why somebody might not be feeling safe. You know, I go into academies where it's residential and 16 to 25-year-olds stay. And when they come from home where there's been lots of touch and they go back into the residential home, which is full of love in a different way, there's no touch. It's a 0 touch policy with aprons and face masks and absolutely no hugging. And when you think some of these kids are 16 and they come from being hugged, they come from that safety of touch, that oxytocin, to 0 touch, it's really difficult to make up for that feeling. This is Boo, my dog, who always does this at integral moments in my videos. She likes you to let you know she's here. Number 9, this is my favourite, laughter. What makes you laugh? You know, where do you feel that laughter? And when we laugh, we instantly increase the serotonin levels in our body, happiness, confidence, self-esteem, by 16%. That's massive, massive. So I've written them on a little purple piece of paper because white was a bit boring. And I've got, oh, it's purple as well. I'm matching. Look at that, I'm matching. So over Christmas, I was sent a present by somebody and it came in this wonderful Amazon bag with a little ribbon. So I'm going to chuck my Uno cards in here and just give them a bit of a shake. Just get a bit of tension out. That's better. Right. Oh, right. Okay, here we go. What am I going to get? I shouldn't really do this really because I'm not prepared. But it's the best way. So I have got a 3, all green. So if I was working with much younger children, I would say, what makes you feel relaxed? You know, oh, Boo wants to get up on the beanbag. Come on, darling, up again. But if I'm doing it for slightly older people, what makes me scared? What makes me scared? Okay. What makes me scared is the thought of my youngest son going through all these exams and all this pressure and watching him deflate like a big balloon. And just the fear for his future and being pushed through that. That's what I'm scared of. However, we go back to this, what's in our control? Well, I can make home funny. I can keep him talking. I've got this bench in my front garden, and my son and I will often sit out there, and I make a point of it. You know, I'll get up with him in the morning and we sit together and I find out where he is. And when he gets back at night, I don't say to him, how was school? Because it's always, oh, same as usual. There's no point. You might as well be mutes. So we'll often sit on the bench and we talk about what's in our control, and we do all these crazy things and massage and we chat, and just the fact that he's being listened to helps. So when you play this game, what I find is really important when you get a slightly negative emotion or core emotion is to discuss where you feel it, what you can do about that, whether it's touch, yoga, chatting, a game, you know, anything you want to alleviate that and put that stuff that's out of your control, because when we're scared, it's often because it's stuff out of our control, and we bring it back into our control. What can we do to cope with this? We can't take it away. Panicking is going to make it worse, you know? If you can breathe through it, if you can work out what to do to make that situation bearable, to get you through it, to be tolerable. This is all really positive stuff, and it really, really does help. And I do this with adults. I do this for myself. Sometimes I've even done it on my own, which is slightly worrying. I've just picked out 3 again. Oh God, that's not a good sign, is it? 2. So I could either go with yellow. Oh my God, my favourite, what makes me feel full of joy, being back on here, chatting with you lot. It was joyful to have a rest and breathe in my family over Christmas. It was joyful to get my silver high-heeled dancing shoes on and dance again. And I did it. I did it for an hour on my own, because obviously my children tend to just scatter off into corners and disappear when the dancing shoes come out. But I did it, and it filled me with joy. But if I was going by the number 2, what makes me anxious? What makes me anxious is the thought of COVID, how it's going to affect people going forwards, people who have already lost people through COVID, how to be able to help them to the best of my ability. But the thought that if we have another lockdown, I'm not going to be able to physically get to people again. It massively, it impacts everybody. But if you're a therapist and your work is touch and seeing people, it's massive. It's massive. And you know, I know there are Zoom sessions, and you could do this game on a Zoom session even, you know, but it's not quite the same as getting my hands on people and feeling how they feel. Something can be lost a little bit in Zoom session. Not always, but sometimes. So yeah, those sorts of things make me anxious. And for our young people and all the stuff they've missed out on. Anyway, I don't want to bog you down with all the stuff I'm anxious. 7. What makes me disappointed? The government and how they've handled this. I'm sorry, but it's true. What really disappoints me is that people with special needs during COVID, if they came down with COVID, there was a non-resuscitation law under the radar to just not bring them back if something happened to them, if their breathing failed or whatever. Not happy about that one. Yes. So what have I got now? 5. What? Oh no. Let's do a happy one. That's disappointed. Let's do a happy one. 6. What's 6? Happy, and it's yellow. Oh my God. What makes me happy? What makes me happy is that whatever's thrown my way, even if I'm not well, and it happens to us all, you know, I have tools that I can use and means that I can access to still get hold of all of you, to still bring my message across. You know, I might not have a bean in the bank, but do you know what? If I can share freely and bring humour, bring advice, bring knowledge, bring help, bring ideas, therapies, whatever it is, if I can still bring that to all of you in spite of what life throws at me, that makes me really, really, really happy, because I was born yellow, and I was born to just bring yellow to people. I think I'm really lucky to have that sunny disposition, and I will never give up. I will never give up on this, ever. And that brings me enormous happiness, because I know it sounds a bit odd, but I truly, truly feel that this work, my journey through all the abuse my children and I went through, my journey with 4 neurotypical children, one of whom is autistic, and that was a tremendous fight. You know what? We turned all of that into compost. We grew flowers from that, and we did. And they're strong flowers, they're wild flowers, my favourite. And most of them are yellow. And I just think, you know, I was born to do this. I had my journey, and for all its other different colours and all its other different numbers from Uno, I came out yellow, I came out happy, I came out full of joy, and I came out destined to do this work and to freely share. And, you know, money comes, money goes. Doesn't matter what you've got in your bank account, doesn't matter what car you drive. As Robert E. Whitcraft said, none of those things matter. But what matters is making a difference, not just to a child's life, but to anybody's lives. And through my work, if I can make a difference to just one person, I'm yellow, and I will leave those tiny little bright yellow size 5 footprints behind me when I've gone. And that's the best thing for me that I could possibly leave. So on that note, I'm going to wish you a very happy new year. Have fun, be playful, be childlike. Remember what's in your control. Remember that you have ways and means to deal with the stuff that isn't in your control. And stay strong. It's hard, but stay strong. It's a new year. And I wish you all the best, and I send you loads of love. And I'll see you next week, because I'm back on it, like a car bonnet, ready for more lovely videos throughout the year. So lots of love, my darlings. Mwah.